So it ain't that bad. I don't see too many faggots in Philly, you know. Out in L.A., Manhattan, you got them all over the place. Brooklyn, we don't have any gay people. They're all dead. All we got is a big sign that says, "Welcome to Brooklyn, fourth largest city in America," with this dead fag hanging off the pole. They're not from this planet, let's face it. I don't see how any man could look at another guy's hairy ass and want to bang it, you know? I see a guy with a hairy ass, I want to give it a wash and blow dry, that's the extent. They're not from this planet, they're from Faggotron, come on. And they're always on parade. They march up and down the street with T-shirts and flags. I want money for AIDS disease. Beautiful. I want money for a new fucking car. I ain't marching up and down the street. Get a job, butt slammer. Find something else you like other than the Hershey Highway, you know? And they're too sensitive. They don't know if they want to be called gays, homosexuals, fairies. I call them cocksuckers. I think it spells it out. They walk with that limp wrist. Their wrists aren't limp. They're busted from being on their hands and knees all night. And you got all kinds. You got these transvesticles. You ever see them? That's a nice Sunday surprise. Meet the girl of your dreams. You're whiny, you're diny. You take her home. You put your hand up her skirt. You hold in a tree trunk. What's this, a gift, honey? Bisexuals are my favorite. They're cute, aren't they? They must get up in the morning and flip a coin. Yeah, heads, I want hair pie. Tails, balls across the nose. I mean, what kind of menu is this? I think the biggest joke, I was watching the show 2020. You ever see that show, 2020? You know what I'm talking about. I'm watching it about a month ago. You know what the big issue was? That up in San Francisco, the cock jockey capital of California, they just passed a bill that smoking is not allowed in the street anymore. It offends people. You can actually be put in jail for it. But it's okay if you want to butt slam your buddy while you're waiting for the bus. Yeah, smack him in the face with your dick 5-6 times. That doesn't offend anybody, right? Yeah, just don't get caught smoking a cigarette doing it. Yeah, you can smoke the baloney pony, but not a Winston. And then you know what cracks me up altogether? When AIDS finally breaks out all over the country like mildew, you got 20 million faggots running around and they're going, where can this come from? How can I get this? How can you get this? It's very simple. Let me explain this. If you're walking around with shit on your dick every day, you're bound to pick something up. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a 24-hour virus. It ain't a migraine headache. Maybe this is God's way of saying, hey, fellas. Wake up and smell the toast, okay? I think the best part of being gay is when you're done, you can turn over and talk about football.
So that's Andrew Dice Clay doing stand-up. The Diceman doing stand-up. And I know it's controversial. Before you, all of my followers get super upset by, that stand-up routine, because a lot of liberals have gotten upset about that stand-up routine, and all that. But before you get all upset, Andrew Dice Clay has already gotten in trouble for the stuff he said on stage. He's already been protested by the LGBT community back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, the LGBT community protested his shows and all that. So he's already been hit with the cancel culture. So there's no need to try to cancel him. He's already been attempted to be canceled. Now, do I agree with everything that Andrew Dice Clay said in his routine? No, I don't. I don't agree with everything that he said in his routine. But it's something that we could talk about on a podcast kind of thing. Like the stuff that I disagreed with him about, we could talk about on a podcast kind of thing. So, yeah, that's, because everybody starts to think that, if a comedian says something you don't like, you automatically have to be like, oh, no, shun this comedian. No, not necessarily. You can just talk to the comedian about, what they said on stage and can form a conversation. So, yeah, we could do that. So, yeah, I'm not going to shun somebody for something they said on a podcast. I'm just going to say we could talk about this on a podcast. Plus, not everything that Andrew Dice Clay said was wrong. Some of the stuff that he said was right. And we can talk about that. We can talk about this like on a podcast or something like that. Shit.